Right now at 6, renewed resources. The La Crosse Common Council votes prioritizing your safety downtown.
And it was a massive need in the pandemic, and it's back again. How Rotary Lights and area partners are rising to the occasion.
Watching WKBT La Crosse, this is News 8 Now at 6.
Good evening, everyone, and thanks for joining us at 6. I'm Ken Kozarowski.
And I'm Emily Brown. Rotary Lights is back with a push to end hunger in the region.
News 8 Now's Grace Monk is live outside the Onalaska Hy-Vee with the details on this month's First Friday food drive. Grace.
Things are just now starting to wrap up, but organizers were out here all day collecting donations that will go directly back to the Hunger Task Force. Friday food drives are back.
Thank you very much.
It's an initiative that started in 2020 when the Hunger Task Force was in critical need of food. Since then, there hasn't been a need to bring the food drive back. But after losing federal funding earlier this year, the organization has found themselves in a similar position.
Their shelves are bare and they don't have the money to purchase from bigger places outside of cities, so they're really in crisis.
This prompted Rotary Lights along with United Way, Organic Valley, and Midwest Families to bring the food drive back. Hunger Task Force is a food bank and they play a critical role in the food distribution process.
About 120 agencies that the Hunger Task Force takes care of. It's food pantries, it's some schools, it's some other organizations, it's some churches and so on that all tap into the Hunger Task Force to get their supplies redone.
For 3 weeks, food and monetary donations will be collected at the Hy-Vee in Onalaska and the old Kmart parking lot. So far, the food drive hasn't seen the same flood of donations, but organizers are hoping to see that change.
In COVID, it was a crisis that affected everyone, and so it was that guttural reaction to everybody needs this. I'm affected, my neighbor's affected, I'm going to go give them that food. It was important. It's just as important now because even though you might not be affected by these funding cuts, someone in our community is.
The drives continue the next 2 Fridays, July 18th and 25th between 11 a.m. and 6 p.m. Donations can also be made directly to the Hunger Task Force. And we'll be sure to have a list of some of those non-perishable items they're looking for you on our website. Reporting in Onalaska, Grace Monk, News 8 Now.
All right, thank you, Grace. Stay dry out there.
Yeah, if the umbrella wasn't a dead giveaway right there.
Right.
We've got some shower conditions in La Crosse, but to our south, especially Crawford County, they've been getting hit a little bit harder throughout the day, Greg.
Yeah, pretty much. Some of those areas down towards Prairie du Chien have had quite a bit of rainfall, this whole thunderstorm complex. And actually, if you go further south in southern Wisconsin, they've had severe weather combined with a bunch of other things going on down there. We're on the northern side of it, so we just have some light rain, and it gets a little bit less as you go further north right now to Eau Claire, where they're actually dry right now. Overall, of course, all the cloud cover kept our temperatures in the mid to upper 70s, which was good because our humidity level was up, so we didn't have the sun to really make it feel as muggy it is. There's all your precipitation right now. Mounts so far have been climbing pretty heavily up in the Prairie du Chien in those areas, seeing about over an inch, inch and a half as you go further south. We're getting light rain. We're kind of on the northern side of it. It really tapers off as you go further north. However, we are seeing more development, as you can see, towards Marshfield as more of this up north side of it begins to interact with a little bit of a daytime heating effect. And we got the cold front that's just sliding through Minneapolis too. So even for northern areas, we will see some activity, but much more scattered or isolated in nature. So as we kind of time that out, you can see all that area to the south begins to push slowly to the east, but it continues to kind of wrap up. So it doesn't get too far before it pulls northward. So precipitation, at least for La Crosse to Sparta to Vokesfield, will probably continue at least until midnight. And then we'll see other areas further north just see scattered activity. It'll be less humid overnight. We have cloud cover. Unfortunately, going forward, we do have smoke back in the picture that people probably don't want to see. But overall for that, the weekend still looks good. So we'll kind of plan out and see what the temperatures look like and what it looks like with the smoke too a bit later in the broadcast.
Sounds like a plan. Thank you, Greg. Developing now out of the Twin Cities, an officer-involved shooting is under investigation. It happened this afternoon near a Cub Foods in St. Paul's Payne-Phelan neighborhood. Our Twin Cities affiliate reports no officers are hurt, but no word on a potential suspect. For now, the Minnesota Bureau of Criminal Apprehension is leading an investigation. They are are calling it a use of force incident.
An Eau Claire man faces attempted homicide charges after a Lake Hallie stabbing. Orestes Chorus allegedly stabbed a juvenile male 6 times early this morning. Investigators say the victim is the current boyfriend of Chorus's ex. He was hospitalized and is in stable condition. Chorus is currently held in Chippewa County Jail.
It's a not guilty plea for the man accused of scamming a La Crosse diocese official. Anas Vora is accused of theft and money laundering in an $86,000 fraud scheme. He's bound over for trial and held on a $50,000 cash bond.
Fire crews in Shelby responded to a car fire this morning. When they arrived, they say it was fully engulfed. The vehicle was parked next to a house and a garage, causing minor heat damage to both buildings.
Thankfully, the fuel was running away from the house. Obviously, there's some heat exposure to the house. We surveyed the house, surveyed the garage. There's been no extension to either structure, so just some minor damage to those buildings.
No injuries were reported and no word what may have caused the fire. Well, flags are flying at half-staff today around Wisconsin as Milwaukee police officer Kendall Corder is laid to rest. Governor Tony Evers ordered the tribute for the 32-year-old officer killed last month. Corder was responding to a shots fired call when police say he and his partner were ambushed. Corder died from his injuries. This is footage from his public visitation this morning. He was laid to rest at the historic Wisconsin Memorial Park this afternoon.
The La Crosse Common Council voted on multiple key issues last night. First, using $115,000 for security services in parks and parking ramps. They passed that, so security teams will be used to patrol on weekends. Council's also greenlit development plans for a new downtown housing project at the old La Crosse Tribune building. It includes 260 residential units and commercial space. Some rezoning petitions also passed, one to allow a pocket park at a Caledonia Street parking lot and one for a primary care clinic on Jackson Street.
Also passing a decision on the Pathways Held Leases program, which offers affordable housing to people experiencing homelessness. The city will hold a lease with landlords for a set number of units. Those would then be sublet to those struggling to afford housing.
And officials say they're still looking for landlords for that program. The La Crosse Fire Department has seen an uptick in water incidents this summer. Crews responded to 13 water-related incidents since the start of June. That ties the amount of incidents the department saw all of last year. On the 4th of July alone, LCFD conducted 4 water rescues. It's got fire officials urging the public to use caution.
Make sure you have a cell phone with you, either you or somebody in your party. Should something happen, call right away. Call 911 right away.
And to stay safe on the water, La Crosse Fire says it's important to have the proper amount of life jackets and to refrain from using drugs or alcohol.
2 medical students are on a coast-to-coast journey biking to raise awareness for suicide prevention. James Marks and Zach Jageri started their ride in Seattle on June 10th. They are traveling for 48 days and will end at the University of Connecticut, where they both attend. Today they stopped in Onalaska, sharing their experiences and how the mental challenges have far outweighed the physical ones.
We've got a long way to go, so the only thing that you can do is just enjoy the moment. Instead of getting caught in a cycle of, I want to be back, I'm in pain, you know, this is a really hard time, just change the perspective a little bit and try and really enjoy where you're at.
The duo has 18 days left in their journey and have raised $17,000 so far. If you'd like to donate to their cause and help them reach their goal of $20,000, we'll have a link on our website, news8000.com.
Coming up, the President and First Lady in Central Texas.
It's hard to believe the devastation. I've never seen anything like it.
Donald Trump, after witnessing the state of flood-ravaged communities and the recovery efforts still ongoing.
Earn a 25-cent Hy-Vee fuel saver for every $50 this Saturday and Sunday. That's a 25-cent fuel saver for every $50 you spend in-store and online. Saturday and Sunday, only at Hy-Vee.
We see you out there making the most of every moment.
Happy birthday, buddy.
One big, bright idea at a time. At Blaine's, we're glad to be part of it by offering best-in-class products and solutions at unbeatable Farm and Fleet prices. Like a free $15 Farm and Fleet gift card when you spend $75 on Purina brand dog food, cat food, litter, and treats. Plus, rewards members get free same-day delivery on pet orders of $49 or more. Find value on the things you value. Blaine's Farm and Fleet. Be an original.
Protect your home with Tundra seamless gutters and gutter helmet from Asher Lassen Exteriors. Our highly trained technicians can install the complete water management system for your home with our exclusive custom gutters, gutter helmet, and helmet heat. Gutter helmet is filter free, so it will never clog, guaranteeing you'll never clean your gutters again. Receive up to 22% off your entire project, plus no money down, no payments, and no interest for up to 12 months. Connect with the Asher team today and request a free, no-obligation consultation at goasher.com or call us at 888-GO-ASHER.
At US Cellular, we created an event to celebrate our customers, like Luana here, called Us Days.
Yeah, they give us special rewards and exclusive deals and everything. It almost feels like we're part of a cool club together.
Sure does.
Slide Connect. Woo, woo, woo. Hug, shake.
Us Days just got bigger. All customers get a free phone with no trade-in.
Get fresh savings at Hy-Vee Saturday and Sunday. Bacon wrapped sirloins, just $3.99. Washington cherries, just $2.48 a pound. And get pork chops 10 for $10, plus a 10-cent fuel saver. Saturday and Sunday at Hy-Vee.
President Trump is in Central Texas seeing for himself the damage from last week's flash flooding that killed more than 120 people. As of this morning, 161 people are still missing in Kerr County alone.
The president participated in a roundtable and thanked local officials and rescue workers for their ongoing efforts. The visit comes amid questions about the Trump administration's plans to phase out the Federal Emergency Management Agency. The president has signed a disaster declaration for the region. Along the Guadalupe River, crews are carefully working through the debris.
Every piece of debris, every vehicle has to be treated differently to keep the dignity of humanity. There are people that are watching this and they know that their kids are missing. They don't want to see people just eating away at piles of trees.
This is devastating. I've lived here for 30 years and never seen anything like this.
Law enforcement officials say there are more than 2,100 responders on the ground working to find the remaining victims.
Meantime, the president has given dozens of countries until the end of the month to strike a new trade deal, including one of America's largest trading partners and allies.
Erica Brown has more details from Washington, D.C.
As President Trump escalates his trade war, threatening higher tariffs for multiple countries, he says Canada has already responded to his letter warning of 35% taxes on Canadian imports unless they strike a deal by August 1st.
It was sent yesterday. They called. I think it was fairly well received. It's what we need. So we'll see what happens.
Canadian Prime Minister Mark Carney responded to the threat on social media, saying the Canadian government has steadfastly defended our workers and businesses. We will continue to do so as we work towards the revised deadline of August 1st.
We've been taken advantage of for many, many years by countries, both friend and foe. And frankly, the friends have been worse than the foes in many cases.
President Trump has sent letters to more than 20 trade partners, all delivering the same message. Negotiate a new trade deal by August 1st, or your goods will be hit with higher tariffs. Secretary of State Marco Rubio says trade was discussed during a meeting with Asian partners in Malaysia.
There's no country in the world that I can meet with right now where the issue of trade and tariffs wouldn't come up, because this is a global action.
That includes China, as Rubio met with the foreign minister Friday.
We acknowledged, there are some issues that are going to be, we have to work through, not just beyond trade, but others. But I thought it was a very constructive and positive meeting and gave us a lot to work on.
Secretary Rubio said the odds are high that President Trump will meet with Chinese President Xi Jinping this year. Erica Brown, CBS News, Washington.
President Trump has also issued tariff threats against Brazil because he says the country has treated former President Jair Bolsonaro very unfairly. Trump told the press today he may call Bolsonaro soon. We will have more news ahead.
But first,
yeah, we definitely have hazy, smoky skies coming back once the precipitation ends this evening. So we'll break down what that looks like, the temperatures this week, and how warm it might get next week before we have more precipitation. That all coming up on your First Warn Weather Update after the break.
He promised to bring down our costs. But Congressman Derek Van Orden just voted to make our electric rates skyrocket. His plan removes clean energy from the electric grid, creating an energy shortage. So now the power companies are saying, quote, "We're going to force electricity prices to the moon." How does Van Orden expect us to afford that? So the next time you open your electricity bill and see a bigger number, remember that Congressman Van Orden's plan made our rates go up.
In 1925, a new furniture store opened its doors in Fountain, Minnesota. The business was called the Fountain Furniture Company. Today, 100 years and 4 generations later, we're Drury's, where you'll find a focus on principles that have given us staying power. Handle quality furniture, maintain a professional staff, and a commitment to customer service. We invite you to stop in and find out for yourself how this big store in a tiny town has lasted. Drury's in Fountain, Minnesota. Family owned for 100 years.
You protected our rights, preserved our freedom. You may have even risked your life for us. Now, it's our turn to fight for you. Your local Wisconsin emergency, energy, and housing assistance providers and the Keep Wisconsin Warm Cool Fund reward the service of our veterans with rental and energy support in their time of crisis. Apply today to get the fresh start you've earned.
Get an 11% rebate on everything when you shop at Menards. Dutch Boys DuraFighter is a premium paint and primer in one that provides great scrub resistance and durability. Get a gallon starting at $22.49 after rebate. Pristine interior paint and primer in one is Dutch Boys' best hiding and most durable paint. It delivers a smooth, elegant finish while providing maximum scuff, stain, and mark resistance. A gallon starts at $43.48 after 11% rebate.
Save big money at Menards.
To everyone who finds joy in a great meal, we can't wait to see you again at Culver's.
What makes us happy is making you happy.
We want every meal
to be filled with big bite moments.
Lick the spoon moments.
And even get your hands off my cheese curds moments.
They're just too good to share. From the juiciest bites to the sweetest scoops.
We're all about bringing people together
over delicious food. From Wisconsin with love.
Welcome to Delicious.
Yeah.
Yeah, we generally have a lot of light rain for falling for most of the area. It gets a little bit more moderate as you go down towards Crawford into Richland County. The severe weather risk really is pretty much over with for our area, but really it's this area down towards all the way maybe from La Crosse, Black River Falls, as Volksfield, and south is what majority of the rainfall is going to fall this evening into about 10, 11 p.m. Further north, a little bit of activity just on the outside of this we call it thunderstorm complex. And then the front is still back to Minneapolis, and you got a little bit of line of scattered showers. It's a weakening front, so when that comes through later tonight, we're not expecting a lot of activity with that. In fact, scattered, isolated showers or storms will come through potentially later tonight too. But this is really the bulk of the precipitation for what we're going to see tonight. And generally just light rain. Right now, mounts are fairly good. South of it, you go up to about a quarter to an inch. You get towards Prairie du Chien, then you're pushing an inch and a half, and then you have some flooding issues as you go further south than that. I don't expect to see we'll have any flooding issues going on as far as Crawford or Richland County, but we'll have to keep an eye and see if things can linger. But for right now, it's really going to taper off as you go further north too. Here's the other story behind it. All this little light gray behind here, that's the smoke. We have smoke northwest North Dakota. All that's beginning to rotate through here. 5 miles in Fargo, that is due to haze and smoke right now. So they are having some reduction of visibility. That's what's coming behind this. As you see, the front here is on my light side right there going through Minneapolis. So unfortunately, we're going to have a nice weekend, but we're going to be dealing with some smoke. Here's all the precipitation as mentioned. It continues to push east. It should be out of the area by the time we get to about 9 to 10, but you see it kind of lifts north. So once again, we'll have to keep an eye on Crawford County and especially the Kickapoo, because if that thing does rotate back up and sit there, we might see more precipitation. Otherwise, everywhere else will just see some scattered activity further on at the night. As that activity pushes to the east, the front will come through. We might see a little bit of development late tonight through early tomorrow morning. You can see just some scattered showers developing along the front. That's what you could expect in the morning time frame. That'll push east, and by the time we get to about 7, 8 a.m., most of the activity's east. We're starting to see a little bit more sunshine. You'll feel the northwest wind pick up and less humid air start to come in. Unfortunately, the smoke will come in with that, but we are looking at generally good dry conditions going in Saturday and Sunday behind this front. Now, the smoke will be filtering in. It probably will be later Saturday morning. You'll start seeing a little bit of it aloft and then through the surface. Then it continues on, and then really a deeper, thicker patch of smoke potentially could be coming in towards Sunday. That's when Sunday morning we might see reductions of visibility going down below 5 miles, something to keep in mind of. So it'll probably be a hazy, smoky start to Sunday. We'll see it lift a little bit, but that should continue probably until Monday. That's why we do have air qualities out for unhealthy for some. It's not entirely the whole population here. The worst conditions will probably be further to the northeast of Wisconsin, but that's what we're going to be dealing with at least through Monday. Now, temperatures tomorrow, much more seasonal, upper 70s, low 80s, less humid. That's the good news. Sunday, plenty of sunshine minus the smoke out there. We'll get back in the low to mid 80s, which is right where we should be. And then Monday, we start flipping the switch up. We're going to go back up. We're going to see temperatures get back up into the mid to upper 80s. And as we go and that is stuck right now. There we go, kind of came up. Finally, you can see the temperatures get close to 90 for a few days before we have showers and thunderstorms come through, along with much cooler air to follow it towards the end of next week. So unfortunately, if you got plans tonight, it's going to be wet for some areas. Other areas won't see too much in the way of precipitation either, so it just depends on where you're at.
All right. Thanks, Greg. Coming up next in sports, a damper on the day. Rain reshuffles around a nearby Legion baseball tournament. Plus, it was quite the ending to day one of the Bucks Summer League. Reaction from the hero next with Jacob.
Is it time for new windows or doors? Contact the company who has done the research for you. The best windows and doors installed by the best people. Clear Choice Window and Home Solutions.
I never knew fudge could be so dandy. Pop in to Valley Fudge and Candy.
I'm Mike Rowe, and this is the most honest commercial you're going to see all week.
Today, we're waterproofing a basement.
How long do you think this problem has been a problem?
Well, actually, the homeowner told us that she's lived here for 42 years, and when they first moved in, they had water issues.
Yeah.
That is like your telltale sign of like, hey, I'm having an issue, and that's when people should call.
Get a free and honest inspection with Innovative Basement Authority, a Groundworks company.
Summer style starts here. Refresh your space for less at the King Furniture Hot Summer Sale. Save up to 50% on an entire room of beautiful new furniture. Living rooms, bedrooms, dining, you name it. Find mattress closeout deals on overstocked inventory and special factory closeout Lazy Boy recliners at prices too good to sit out. Plus, when you trade in your old furniture, get a discount on new. We'll even deliver in Holloway for free. It's the King Furniture Hot Summer Sale going on now.
Hey, Dominic here to ask, do you love salt but need to cut back on all that sodium? Mini Mini Salt by Pleasing is the answer and is recommended by doctors and dietitians for those on low sodium diets. It tastes like regular salt but with so much less sodium. Use it just like your table salt. Great on corn on the cob, tomatoes, watermelon, and yeah, you could even use it on French fries and everything else you love to salt. Be sure to get your Mini Mini Salt by Pleasing and 40 other blends at the Pleasing Outlet Store on Ward Avenue, La Crosse. Get out of here.
Fudge could be so dandy. Pop in to Valley Fudge and Candy.
Covering all the exciting action from your community. Here's News 8 Now Sports with Jacob Lansendorf.
Well, the Legion baseball season is heating up after an exciting weekend at the Viroqua tournament. Several area teams now taking over Onalaska for another thrilling weekend of games. Regional tournaments kicking off over the next 2 weeks, leading up to State Legion at the beginning of August. Let's go to the action. We've got Onalaska post 336 up against the post 354 Redhawks of GET. Redhawks already with one run across, looking for another, but Joseph Walters is going to get the strikeout to end the inning. Bottom of the first, Onalaska looking to score a run. Antoine Felton, a little blooper, but how about Tucker McDonough laying out for it? Tough play, but he gets it done. And then in the top of the second, Aiden Bush gets things started with a base knockout to right field, and the rain would start to pick up. GET would score another on a bases-loaded walk, but then Mother Nature would take over. Game would be postponed in the top of the second inning. Redhawks with a 2-0 lead. They'll resume this one tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. So a little update on the schedule for tomorrow. As mentioned, Onalaska and GET picking things up at 9 a.m. Then GET and Westby will face off at 11. Westby and Black River Falls at 1. BRF and Fenimore at 3. And then the nightcap of Fenimore up against Onalaska. And in the majors tonight, it's a 7-10 start for both the Twins and Brewers. Great pitching matchup in Minneapolis. Pair of all-stars duking it out. Paul Skeens against Joe Ryan. Meanwhile, the Brewers welcoming the Nationals to town for the final series before the All-Star break. DL Hall will begin on the mound for the Crew against Mitchell Parker, who gets the ball for Washington. Well, what a finish last night in the opening Summer League game for the Bucks. And the last one of the night in Vegas, Jamaree Bouyea of the Bucks with a step-back buzzer beater to lift Milwaukee to a 90-89 victory over the Nuggets. Bouyea had 13 points, 5 assists, and 3 boards in the win. It's a fantastic start for a player that saw a lot of success on the Bucks G League team just a season ago.
Went for the pump fake and he jumped, and thank God he jumped. I got it off and went in. So I think this is a big summer for me as well, and the rest of the guys on the team. And just with them giving me the keys a little bit and letting me run the show, it's just helping me make reads and get guys in the right spots, and also just helping my teammates just play better as well.
Bouyea and the Bucks will be back in action tomorrow at 2:30 against the Cavs on NBA TV. Quite a way to make a mark in the opening game of Summer League action, guys.
Yeah, absolutely. And, you know, spots are limited, especially with this Bucks roster. So any impression you can make does make a massive difference.
And another interesting thing, he's 26, so he's not some
no spring
young
chicken.
kid. So he's trying to really make a mark. Not many chances left for him. So if he can make an impression, we'll see what happens.
Yeah, would make a great story.
Absolutely.
Thanks, Jacob. Thanks,
All right, another look at your forecast right after this.
I have type 2 diabetes, but I manage it well. It's a little pill with a big story to tell. I take once daily, Jardians at each day start. As time went on, it was easy to see I'm lowering my A1C.
And for adults with type 2 diabetes and known heart disease, Jardians can lower the risk of cardiovascular death too.
Serious side effects include increased ketones in blood or urine, which can be fatal. Stop Jardians and call your doctor right away if you have nausea, vomiting, stomach pain, tiredness, trouble breathing, or increased ketones. Jardians may cause dehydration that can suddenly worsen kidney function and make you feel dizzy, lightheaded, or weak upon standing. Genital yeast infections in men and women, urinary tract infections, low blood sugar, or a rare life-threatening bacterial infection between and around the anus and genitals can occur. Call your doctor right away if you have fever or feel weak or tired, and pain, tenderness, swelling, or redness in the genital area. Don't use if allergic to Jardians. Stop use if you have a serious allergic reaction. Call your doctor if you have rash, swelling, difficulty breathing, or swallowing. You may have increased risk for lower limb loss. Call your doctor right away if you have new pain or tenderness, sores, ulcers, or infection in your legs or feet.
Jardians is really swell, the little pill with a big story to tell.
Choice Hotels gets you more for your money, so you can maximize any vacation from the second you log off. Getting rooftop cocktails at the Cambria Hotel.
Yes.
Need anything, email Janet.
But there is no Janet.
Even better, check into more. Book direct at choicehotels.com.
We have really depends on where you're at. It's going to be a wet evening for areas along and south of I-90. It kind of extends up to Black River Falls. If you're up at Eau Claire, you might not see much, but there is that cold front coming from Twin Cities that might provide a little bit more activity overnight. Don't forget the air quality alerts. We do have smoke coming back in the story, but otherwise the weekend is shaping up to be pretty nice, minus the smoke.
Okay, so it's not as severe that you have to cancel all your plans this weekend.
Yeah,
but maybe just keep
be
it in
aware
mind.
of it out there. Yes.
All right.
Thanks for joining us tonight at 6.
See you at 10.